Do you care about that? I'm trying to be responsive to a few concerns. Personally, I think once it's there, whether it's 60 feet from the property line or 50 feet or 75 feet. That's my personal view. I'm just trying to see how much you care.
We will move it to the east, to the UDOT boundary. I've been told that Heber City has 80 feet right now, they need 130.
So they're going to take a 50-foot strip off the side.
Take a 50-foot strip, and then we'll adjust our plan to the east to accommodate that.
Putting in the 20%.
Looks like the biggest area that's going to be moved is to the north, quite frankly.
Yeah, how about north-south?
Except that they go past the 5.
Well, you can take your acreage up here too.
We'll take it as far north and still maintain 5 acres.
Okay.
So will we have over a minimum of 200 feet down on the south end with that? Because you can declare the setback as a condition. My concern is that we leave here something vague and then they say, oh, we got the conditional use permit, it's here.
So that's what he's asking. I don't know that. I don't know where 200 feet, I don't know what that does. You know, I don't know if we can force them to create a 200-foot setback on the south border.
That's your condition.
Well, we can't encroach upon the other 5 acres.
But
Why not?
I'm comfortable.
We don't know if that's a reasonable condition.
No, wait.
Well, it's,
The 5 acres is their economic plan.
Yeah.
I have an economic plan for my property. These people have an economic plan. These people have an economic plan.
Everybody does.
Right.
But
So
we just can't pull 200 feet out of thin air and say, that's a good thing. I'm not comfortable with that because I don't know what that means. I don't know if they've engineered. I don't think it's a huge deal from an engineering perspective, but I don't know how far that shifts.
Well, how can we make a mitigating, how can we assess the mitigation thing if we don't have that? That's part of my issue with the power company, okay, is what are they going to propose is the mitigating factor. Because right now, if you just give a conditional use permit, you haven't addressed the mitigating factor of the setback.
But we don't get into that typically. The code says what the setbacks are. As long as they stay within their building envelope.
That's the minimum standard of the zone.
I understand.
Right? Now, what we're talking about is you start at the minimum and then you go, what are the mitigating factors in addition to the minimum?
I know what you're saying. I do understand the concept. I would make the same argument if I own the property to the south too. I totally understand.
I hope you'd take it into the 10 conditions as if you did own it.
I don't know how far, what's the setback as you show in that drawing now?
I remember it's about 80 feet, but...
From what to what?
From the fences. But that's just going off, it's just, that's counting, the scaling is not correct, we just put it on there and try to slide it up. That's maybe
I'm just trying to see how far.
you want to be.
I don't want to put 200 feet out of thin air, but you may look at it and say, yeah, that's no problem. Or we can agree to 150 feet or whatever it is.
Here's what the staff report said. Okay, they said there was 80 feet on the west. They said there was 100 feet on the south. They said
From what to what though?
From the property line to the fence.
To the fence.
To the fence of the substation. Okay. Then they said 480 feet to the north.
I got you. Okay.
And 125 feet to the east.
Right, but they're going to lose 50 of that. Okay. So you're at 100 as it sits. Do you want to pick a number that you're willing to commit to move it north a little bit more?
And that's to the fence, not the berm.
Yeah, and the staff report said 40 feet of green space.
Why are you coming up with 200 feet? Why is that a reasonable number?
Because I looked at the proximity of where this is, and I thought 200 feet up here, 300 feet here, about 80 feet on here. I'm trying to make it.
I'm trying to make it fair
if it has to be there. This is a discussion I wanted to have with the power company before.
Our application is already beyond what is required by code. We're at 100 feet. We're beyond it. We'll take it as much as we can beyond that 100 feet, but we can't go 200 feet.
Good.
Why not?
Is there a number that we can,
We'll go between 100 and 120 feet. How's that?
Why can't we do 200?
Yeah,
This
that's
is
an
their
arbitrary number.
yeah, no, that's what, my point is, I can't pull 200 feet out of thin air and impose that as a condition. I understand the argument.
It's their burden.
We've met the county setback, and we've gone beyond it to 100 feet. That's what's in the application.
I'm not sure this is really a detrimental effect, I guess.
The application isn't even correct. It's not even a correct
understand it,
application,
but
and he keeps talking about it.
There's, you know, you can't just go to somebody's property rights and say, well, I think that's 200 feet's good. You guys gotta sit back here. We can't do that.
could do the 200 feet.
We just can't. I don't have a basis, I'm gonna let the other commissioners, I don't personally have a basis for picking 200 versus 175 versus 225 versus 120. I don't know how to do that, so I'm not comfortable with it.
And to your point, I mean, if they're within the setback. And yeah, we'd like to see it go as far north.
Because then the north guy says, I want, you know, I think it should be pushed down. So, you know,
Yeah.
I understand, it's rational, I'd make the same argument, but I don't know how to do it fairly.
You got more things to add?
I do not, I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay. This would be the 1A.
And 1A or 1B.
See, that's why you gotta.
Yeah, let's do,
On that list of things that we were going through, the only other one that I heard brought up that was discussed that didn't get brought up in this final discussion was the height of those end poles going into the substation. Do you want to put a limit on that?
I think that's an engineer.
So they said 65 feet.
That's as short as they can go.
So will you commit to 65 feet?
We would rather, he would like our engineers said, that's what our construction is going to be. Now they're, if we're going to have to work together, but ours has said 70 feet.
Those are the poles that are
Incoming poles.
at the sub, yeah, all right, well, fine, put a limit on it. You can accept.
And we're happy with that.
I can make a motion on one, you want to make one on the other?
Go ahead.
So I'm going to start out with just the poles, all this.
This is the overall transmission project.
Correct.
And distribution.
Excluding the substations, I think should be dealt with separately. So I'm going to call item 1A as item 1 from our agenda. This is the application by Light Power and Rocky Mountain Power, conditional use permit to rebuild and extend the transmission line. And my motion is that we approve the conditional use permit. And I want to base that specifically on the findings, and all of them, that are contained in the staff report, that show mitigation of the detrimental effects, and I want to impose some reasonable conditions. First, we would like to impose all of the conditions that are contained in the staff report with the following specifics. One, the applicant should install the fewest number of poles possible. This may require heights at the high end of the requested range in more places, but would result in an overall lower number of poles. The applicant would still not go higher than necessary to meet safety and code requirements. With respect to the crossing between Highway 113 and Southfield Road, we will require that the applicant make every reasonable effort to use only wood poles. We understand that a tangent steel pole may be required as on one side. Impose a condition that no large steel dead end structures be used at that crossing. And in addition to that, the setbacks between the existing fences and the location of the poles on those two corners be a minimum of 75 feet, and that the applicant make reasonable efforts to set them back as far as possible. Can't read my own handwriting.
Trees. Yeah,
Oh, tree, no, that's the wire substation.
The wire, non-reflective.
Non-structural water.
that's in there.
That's in there already.
So that's my motion. I incorporated all the other conditions, I just don't want to go through them one by one.
I thought the one pole had to be a metal pole on the crossing.
If it needs to be, it'll be a tangent metal.
I thought it had to be.
It probably will, but I'm going to give them the option.
Maybe they'll find some really good wood.
Redwood, cedar, maybe.
I'll second that.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. The application passed for 1A for the power lines and distribution. So we'll go to 1B, which is more regarding the substation. You're so elegant.
Okay, I'll make a motion on that as well. Make a similar motion. This is to item number 1, we'll call it 1B. This is a conditional use application with respect from Beaver Lake Power and Rocky Mountain Power, but pertaining only to the substation, which has been discussed today. I move that we approve that application based on the specific findings, and all of them in the staff report, which are detailed, and that we discussed today, and subject to all of the conditions in the staff report as well, with the following clarifications. The trees to be planted around the substation must, at planting, be at least 6 feet, and be of the species that are expected to grow at least 35 feet, with exceptions for safety for the operation of the substation. In relationship to the location of the lot, the substation lot, the substation on the lot, place a condition that the applicants place the lot as far north as reasonably practicable, but no less than 100 feet from the south boundary.
I'll second that.
Okay, and a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you. All right. I'd like to thank Beaver Lake Power for all their effort and participation.